Alright guys, this is a Longplay review for MiG-29 Soviet fighter on the AMSTRAD CPC. Released by Codemasters in 1989, we believe around September-ish of 89. Anyway, I have fond memories of playing this on my uncle's Plus 2 Speccy, so I thought it was high time to check out the CPC version. Now, as you can see on the box there's a quote from David Darling of Codemasters. Fast, frantic 3D action as fast as a real arcade game. Brilliant. What arcade game could he possibly mean? Afterburner. Anyway, let's kick this off. And this is a conversion of a Speccy original by Richard Cheney, as you can see on the rather nice loading screen there, who apparently wrote the Speccy version while still at school. And Peter Williamson handled the conversion to the Amstrad. Nice splits of modes here on the title screen. There's actually three mode splits. You've got mode 0 at the top there, mode 1 in the middle, and mode 0 at the bottom there. Plus, it's filled the borders as well, which is actually quite a nice touch. And it's a very nice title screen with some excellent music from the ever-reliable David Whittaker. Okay, so Peter Williamson might be a familiar name to most of you here. He also did 4 soccer simulators, Super Stuntman, Italian Supercar, Motocross Simulator, Pub Trivia, and Monte Carlo Casino for Codemasters, with American Turbo King, Bronx Street Cop, for F-16 Fighting Falcon for Mastertronic, and Riding the Rapids for Players. What is interesting though here is Peter tended to reuse a few of his games, but pretty much just reskin them, often starting on Codemasters and then flogging a new version to Mastertronic. So we had, for example, Super Stuntman become Italian Supercar for Codemasters, and then American Turbo King for Mastertronic. Here, MiG-29 becomes F-16 Fighting Falcon for Mastertronic. And it's pretty much identical, and we'll show some footage at the end of the video of this. So rather cheeky of Peter, but apparently you can get away with that. This also appeared on 3 Quattro compilations from Codemasters, and also bundled in the Mega Pack, which is instead called the Mega Hot Collection when you load it up, which was the Conic Speaking joystick, my favourite joystick, plus 2 of Codemasters Quattro compilations, which MiG-29 was featured on. And we're going to kick things off here in the level 1 woodland with a nice takeoff animation. And if you're interested which Quattro compilations this appeared on, then, well, it was Quattro Fighters, Quattro Firepower, and Quattro Shoot 'em Ups, which the last one will have been a disc-only release in France. Anyway, as you can see, guys, this is a cheap and cheerful Afterburner clone. But it has very, very nice Mode 0 colourful graphics, and actually quite nice sprite work there, and a decent heads-up display at the bottom there. Lots of things parachuting in that are pickups. That was a fuel pickup there. As you can see, my fuel gauge is ticking down. You may notice there's 4 different weapons you can select from. So we're going to switch to the homing missile to destroy the helicopter. That's the only thing that works on it. And rather annoyingly, you have to press the space bar to switch between the weapons. That last one there does like a big bomb on the ground there, which doesn't seem to do much. The third one is the homing missile, and second one is the missiles for the planes there. The first one being your machine guns. And your ammo runs out very quickly, and the levels end very quickly as well. We've got a distance meter at the bottom there, S for start and F for finish, and a nice animated ending sequence of you landing. And really nice music still. So it's very, very nicely presented. There's just not much game here, really. A level is over rather too quickly. And your weapons run out very quickly too. So look at that, I've nearly run out of my machine guns. I've only went to attack about 2 planes, and I've got 1 bullet left. Thankfully, they do start dropping there you go, pickups fairly quickly. Oh, there's a H-bomb, which is a nuclear bomb. If you manage to get that, save it until the helicopter comes and just sort of dodge at the very bottom of the screen there. And there it is in action. Actually, quite a nice effect there. And there's actually quite a nice crash sequence when you get hit. I will show you that at the end of the video. We are going to try and do this without losing a life. I think the main essential pickup though is the fuel. Your fuel will run out before the end of the level, so you will need that. Now the second weapon there, which will actually allow you to hit ground targets, but they move so quickly and they're on the screen for so little time, it's pretty much pointless trying to do that. In fact, almost there's not much point actually going after shooting the planes really, unless you want to score and you want to get bonus lives. In fact, we'll show some more footage at the end of the video of me just hiding away in a corner, and you can pretty much get through the entire level like that. Now we get bonus levels here. Well, we can achieve some more score. Just need to pick up the things that parachute down. And they always land in the same location, so I made a note of that. For example, I wrote down slightly left, far left, slightly left, centre, slightly right, middle left, slightly left, far right, middle left. And that last one there is impossible to pick up if you've gone from the one on the far right, so you can't get a perfect run. I have tried it. I tried doing a perfect run on the bonus round just to see if there's an extra bonus score for getting all the items, but it is impossible to do, so gameplay testing fail there. And yes, guys, it's stupid having the weapon select on the keyboard, given how quickly this game moves. Enemies and rockets and bullets and stuff come at you so quickly. Very little time to react and actually play skillfully by targeting enemies and stuff like that. But how does this fare on the other versions? Because this actually appeared on quite a few other systems. Well, the ZX Spectrum. The ZX Speccy version was the original one, and that was done by Richard Cheney. We talked about him earlier. It has an animated intro sequence actually when loaded of the MiG taking off and shooting a missile. Looks quite nice. It actually has some really cool beeper tunes to the Speccy. I really like them, and it's quite impressive. Now this is the version I have fond memories of playing on my aforementioned Speccy of my uncle. And, well, it's nowhere near as good as I remember it. I'm disappointed. It's funny how memory plays tricks on you. I mean, basically, it's identical to the Amstrad version, just with a lot less colours and different tunes. I don't know why the sound died there. That happened in-game, not an emulator fault. Anyway, Speccy version. But admittedly, the Speccy version plays a bit faster, and control seems to be a bit more responsive. But with it playing faster, it's even less fun and more difficult. The Commodore 64 version has quite a different feeling. It has a larger plane area with a much smaller MiG sprite. Annoyingly, there's only one life, one plane, and then it's game over. Ugh. Although it does have a damage level, which gets wiped out very quickly though. It's very fast moving, which makes it even more difficult and therefore even more annoying than the Speccy and CPC versions. But there's a nice tune on the title screen. This also appeared, believe it or not, on the Nintendo Entertainment System, the NES. And this is more like the C64 version than the CPC and Speccy. And whilst I haven't played it, I've had a look at it on YouTube. This does seem to be better and probably the best version overall, with end-of-level bosses, the most levels, which also changed to overhead sections. It has a nice pace to it and nice tunes, so not too bad overall. But you would have paid more money to get the NES card. So, is it worth it? Atari ST came on the 16-bit. It has one life like the C64, and actually it's closest to the C64 in terms of look and feel. It's a bit meh for a 16-bit game, even if it's budget. Overall, it's pretty awful. And lastly, the Amiga version. As expected, it's a quick port of the ST version, but with just better sound effects. Meh. Music is pretty awesome though. And there you go. Probably the NES version is the one to go for if you're looking for it to play today on an emulator. And guys, I believe that is the end of the game. I think I have... Yes, well done. You have completed all levels. There are only 4 levels and that's it. Bloody hell. And we just have one more bonus level and then the game will continue looping. I'll talk about Amstrad Action reviews now. I always look for that. Well, Amstrad Action never reviewed this game on its own. Still in 1989, AA still tended to ignore reviewing budget games, which I always found annoying because there'd only be a few full price releases per month, and it made it seem like barely anything was being released on the Amstrad. Anyway, it was reviewed 3 times though on free compilation reviews. And we're going to fast forward things here and just kill ourselves. Nice explosion effect when you die, you'll see that one more time at the end. Yes, actually, I will talk about that. I'll talk about the AA reviews in just a second, as I kill myself here. You'll notice, guys, I've been hiding in that bottom left corner. I wonder if we can get through the game like that. But anyway, nice death animation there, big explosion effects, and very nicely presented. Well, we're going to see, though, guys, if we can get through a level without just by hiding in the bottom left corner in a second. But I'll just finish going over Abstraction reviews. So the August 1991 issue 71 reviewed it on the Quattro Firepower pack. Sorry, guys. They called it a substandard Afterburner clone, and that it isn't much fun. But they didn't give it an individual score. But in January 1992, issue 76, they reviewed the Mega Pack, the one with the conic speaking joystick we talked about earlier, giving MiG-29 31%, and a very short review with saying it's an Afterburner clone, but with crap scrolling, stupid enemies, and not a lot else. Yikes. 3 months later, in the April 1992 issue 79, AA reviewed it again on the Quattro Fighters pack, and they remembered what they scored it previously. So 31% it is again. And they called MiG-29 a naff Afterburner style thing with budget game written all over it in indelible ink. There you go, 31% from Amstraction. As for my score, guys, I think 31% is a bit harsh. It's really nicely presented for a budget game, and if you couldn't afford the full price Afterburner, well, before it too arrived on budget, then this was a worthy pocket money purchase. The gameplay, though, is poorly designed, and it's all rather far too short. So I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10. I think that's fair. So we're just going to see here, guys, if we can get through a level just by hiding in the bottom left corner. Let's see how this goes. So there we go, hiding. Now, the thing I was worried about, will the tanks at the bottom of the screen hit us? No, they're not registering hits. And looks like we can do it. But our enemy on this level is our fuel level, which is ticking down rather quickly. So we're going to have to move to pick up fuel when it comes down in a parachute. There it comes. But luckily, it parachuted bottom left to us. Our next problem, though, is the helicopter, because the helicopter has homing missiles. We also have one, so I've got that ready selected. And yeah, unfortunately the helicopter will get us there. So we can't get through an entire level like that. We would have to move eventually. And also, if you notice there, guys, the helicopter fires very, very quickly at you. And you have to be very quick to move. And you've got such a large hitbox on your plane for those homing missiles from the helicopter. If you're going to die on a level, it's going to be by the helicopter more than likely. That's why those H-bombs are so useful. And yeah, the planes can't hit us there either, and we managed to get to the end of level with only losing 1 life. But maybe we'll rack up a lot of score and we'll get bonus lives, so we might be able to get through the entire game that way. But there you go, an easy way to beat the game. Now, we talked earlier about F-16 Fighting Falcon, and I'm pretty sure this came after MiG-29. So if you remember, MiG-29 supported the Speccy original, which is very similar. So Peter Williamson wouldn't have made this first then. So apparently this is also for the Magnum Light Phaser, but God knows how this actually controls or is possible to play. But I guess that's how they can get away with just doing the same game over. No tile screen music, but it uses the same jingle music from 4 soccer simulators. Anyway, look, it's the same bloody game. Same takeoff animation, same levels, but they're just in a different order. However, there's no fuel gauge this time and no distance meter. And there doesn't appear to be any parachute drops or pickups. So no H-bomb. But you can't actually hide in the bottom left corner there. The tanks will actually hit you this time. Hurrah. So they fixed that. But yes, there's no nuclear bombs then to use. So we'll see what happens when a helicopter comes on the screen, but perhaps you are able to hit it with your gun. And if you can see there's a much higher ammo count there. Yeah. And look, you can actually hit the helicopter with it, although he hit me. But there's no crash animation this time after you... Normally there's a big explosion, a fireball explosion there. That's now missing. Oh well, so there you go. An absolute complete rip-off of MiG-29. I can't believe Mastertronic got away with it. With less stuff. But actually it kind of plays better having more ammo, meaning there's more action shooting things. But there you go. There you go, guys. That was MiG-29 then, and I'll give that a 5 out of 10. Thank you very, very much for watching, guys. Take care and see you soon.
So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please click a like below, leave a comment, and also subscribe if you haven't already. And over that way, there's another video for you to check out. Zypho out.